To all of our guests and those in attendance, welcome to the 2023 commencement of Soka University of America. Please remain standing as the members of the student chorus sing the national anthem. Thank you. We invite you to please take your seats. Now, please welcome the president of Soka University of America, Ed Feasel.
Good afternoon and welcome to Soka University of America's Commencement Ceremony for the undergraduate and graduate class of 2023. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, especially our commencement speaker, Wanjita Matai, one of Africa's most influential women, following in the great legacy of her mother, the late Nobel laureate, Peace Laureate, Dr. Wangari Maathai, who one of our academic buildings is named after. We are honored to have Wanjita Matai visit Soka University of America today for the first time. Welcome. It also gives me great pleasure to welcome the family and friends of our graduates. I know many of you have come long distances to join us today, and I thank you. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge our Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and supporters. Thank you for being here, for your contributions to the university, and for your support of our students who are graduating today. I want to take a moment to acknowledge one of our professors who is retiring from SUA after 19 years of service, Professor of Mathematics Anna Varvac. Anna, thank you for your many years of outstanding service to SUA and our students. And I want to especially thank our university founder, Daisaku Ikeda, for establishing this university to contribute to society based on his vision that education for global citizenship is what is needed to overcome the global challenges facing the world. I'm appreciative for his continuous warm support over the years, especially for our students. Dear graduating students, I am so proud and honored to congratulate you on your graduation from SUA today. You have traversed the difficult path of the last several years as a student at SUA through the chaos and uncertainty of the pandemic with the rise of the virtual world of online education, and you have emerged victorious on this stage of your fully in-person commencement ceremony today. Congratulations. One of our Board of Trustees members, Dr. Andrea Bartoli, who is president of the St. Egidio Foundation for Peace and Dialogue, shared with me that while some believe the current generation of youth may experience adverse impacts due to their educational experience during the pandemic, he believes the COVID generation of youth will emerge even more resilient than previous ones, precisely because of the difficult challenges they have faced. Mr. Ikeda has shared in his message to students at our first entrance ceremony in 2001, he shared, "There is no greater education than adversity." I believe you all graduating here today are examples of the truth to these statements. Mr. Ikeda held his first dialogue with Arnold Toynbee, the famous British historian. Toynbee encouraged Mr. Ikeda to travel the world to engage with intellectuals and leaders to promote dialogue and understanding. It was Toynbee, based on his study of the rise and fall of civilization, who posited that it was how civilizations responded to challenges that determined whether they thrived or declined. I believe the same can be said of individuals in our lives. As you depart SUA, each of you will now embark on your next journey in life. One thing is certain, there will be challenges that lie ahead. Please be confident that what you have learned and experienced here at SUA has prepared you to face those challenges head on and will enable you to transcend them. We at SUA are here to continue to support you, so please return to your alma mater over and over to rekindle the dreams and determinations that you developed during your time as a student here. Here at SUA, you have ingrained the ideal of Soka, or value creation, as part of your spiritual DNA. As Mr. Ikeda has shared, value creation, simply put, is the ability to find meaning, to enhance one's own life, and contribute to the life of others under any circumstances. And this is especially true when we face challenges. At this perilous time in human history, when we face a myriad of crises locally, nationally, and globally, the world is in need of your wisdom, courage, and compassion to turn the tide, to lead us toward a better, more just, and more compassionate future. In his Columbia speech in 1996, Mr. Ikeda shared a vision of global citizenship, of people capable of creating value on a global scale. For all of us SUA supporters, here and around the world, we have the same hope for all of you graduating today, and nothing gives us greater joy than to see you emerge as global citizens in this next stage of your life, leading contributive lives in society. We all look forward with great anticipation to the history that you will create. Once again, congratulations on your graduation today.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Hyun Moon, Dean of Students here at SUA. I'm very happy to report that we have received a message from our university founder, Daisaku Ikeda, to the class of 2023. A digital copy of the full text of his message will be sent to all degree candidates, as well as to all members of the campus community after the ceremony. You will also be able to access the message at the university's website after today. Allow me now to take the opportunity to share Mr. Ikeda's message. Message from SUA founder Daisaku Ikeda to the class of 2023. To be young is to sow the seeds for the future. The seeds sown by youth can overcome any and all hardship. They are able to flower and proliferate, transcending the bounds of time and space. Members of the Soka University of America undergraduate class of 2023 and the Master's Program of Educational Leadership and Societal Change class of 2023. You have tackled headlong the onerous difficulties imposed by this age and pursued your studies with remarkable persistence to the very end. We can fathom just how many seeds, each ripe with hope, you have sown in your own lives for the sake of society and for the future during these glorious years of youth spent here as global citizens. Your graduation is truly a song of epic triumph to which I would like to add my heartfelt felicitations. Allow me to extend my profound gratitude to your families and friends whose support has never wavered even while enduring so many challenges in these troubled times. I wholeheartedly share in your joy on this day. As to our SUA faculty and staff, who, working closely with the class of 2023, continue to add new chapters to the golden chronicles of this institution, my appreciation is sincere and abiding. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming to SUA Ms. Wanjira Matai, the daughter of the eminent Dr. Wangari Maathai, who birthed the grassroots environmental movement in Africa. A respected environmentalist in her own right, Ms. Matai carries forward her mother's movement, planting the seeds of peace, harmonious coexistence, and education, and bringing them to flower and fruition. When I met Dr. Matai and Ms. Matai in Tokyo in 2005, our conversation naturally turned to their family's philosophy of hope and commitment to success. In the hope of inspiring young people everywhere, her mother shared that the difference between victory and failure in life is often no more than the willingness to get up when you are down. That belief is no less evident here at SUA, where you draw together like members of a deeply caring family, encouraging one another as you battle to get back up. Come what may, constantly honing and strengthening your Soka spirit to make it truly invincible. This brings to mind the profound insight of Norman Cousins, widely acclaimed as the conscience of America, and who held SUA in the highest esteem and expectations. He once told me, quote, "I believe that human capacity is infinite and that no challenge is beyond human comprehension and reach," end quote. Immeasurable potential lies dormant within the great earth of every individual's sublime life. The purpose of SUA's education for global citizenship is to further enrich and seed this earth, summoning forth the unlimited wisdom, courage, and compassion from the depths of your lives and converging them to surmount even the most difficult challenges to bring about the well-being, peace, and prosperity of humanity's global family. As you proudly take wing into the world from this People's University, I ask you to live up to the unconditional support rendered by your esteemed parents and your many dear friends across the world. Go on then to sow new seeds of value creation, one by one and day after day, and fulfill your unique calling upon the stage of your respective lives. And as you do so, foster others who serve the cause of peace and our shared humanity, enabling their stature and ranks to flourish like sacred sequoias of a veritable forest. Engage in this task as pioneers of a truly global civilization upholding the dignity of life, cheerfully forging indivisible bonds of trust and friendship wherever your lives may lead you. That is my abiding hope for you all. My wife, Kaneko, and I will be resolutely praying for you, the graduates whom we will always love and trust from our hearts. May you be blessed with glory, with good fortune, and with victory. Forge on unfazed and unbowed, cherishing your health first and foremost. Daisaku Ikeda, founder, May 26, 2023. And now please join me in welcoming the student chorus and orchestra, which will be performing the student song, On the Path of Peace. Thank you so much for your beautiful performance. And now I'm truly honored to introduce Ms. Wanjira Matai, our keynote speaker. Wanjira Matai is the Managing Director for Africa and Global Partnerships at World Resources Institute. She formerly served as Vice President and Regional Director for Africa, co-chair of World Resources Institute's Global Restoration Council, and Senior Advisor to the Global Restoration Initiative. She's also the current chair of the Wangari Maathai Foundation and the former chair of the Green Belt Movement in Kenya. An inspiring leader, Wanjira Matai has over 20 years of experience advocating for social and environmental change on both local and international platforms. Over the years, she has also served important strategic and advocacy roles, raising the prominence and visibility of global issues such as climate change, youth leadership, sustainable energy, and landscape restoration at Women Entrepreneurs in Renewables, the Wangari Maathai Foundation, and the Green Belt Movement, the organization her mother, Wangari Maathai, the 2004 Nobel Peace Prize laureate, founded in 1977. Wanjira Matai currently serves on the board of the World Agroforestry Center as a leadership council member of the Clean Cooking Alliance and a member of the high-level group of the Africa-Europe Foundation. She is one of the few 6 seconds EQ practitioners in Kenya and was named one of the 100 most influential African women in 2018, 2020, and 2021. on behalf of Soka University, a warm welcome to Ms. Wanjira Matai. And at this time, I would like to ask Ms. Matai and President Fiesel to come forward for the presentation of Soka Global Citizen Award.
Thank you very much. 3 years ago, in 2020, on the occasion of our 20th anniversary here at SUA, under the theme of recommitting to our founding principles, we established the SUA Global Citizen Award. It is my great pleasure to be able to confer this year's Soka Global Citizen Award on our commencement speaker, Wanjira Matai, for her decades of advocating for social, environmental change on both local and international platforms. Soka Global Citizen Award presented to Wanjira Matai for her decades of advocating for social environmental change on both local and environmental platforms, having also served important strategic and advocacy roles, raising the prominence and visibility of global issues such as climate change, youth leadership, sustainable energy, and landscape restoration, for her compassionate leadership as the Managing Director for Africa and Global Partnerships at the World Resources Institute, current chair of the Wangari Maathai Foundation, Leadership Council member of the Clean Cooking Alliance on the board of the World Agroforestry Center, and member of the high-level group of the Africa-Europe Foundation, for her fearless commitment to peace and protecting our planet to embody wisdom, courage, and compassion. Wanjira Matai is awarded SUA's 2023 Soka Global Citizen Award, May 26, 2023, Edward M. Fiesel, President. So please join me in welcoming Ms. Matai to deliver her keynote address.
Thank you. What a wonderful celebration. What a wonderful day. Thank you to that amazing, amazing chorus. Mr. President, thank you for that honor. Thank you so much to the Soka community, graduates. You look so good from here. I love those words from your founder, Mr. Ikeda. Your graduation is a song, your graduation is a song of the epic triumph. That is amazing. Your graduation is a song of epic triumph. Congratulations. You have earned every single minute of the celebration we will be having from now onwards. I think we'll be celebrating all day. But I want to thank President Fiesel, first of all, for the gracious introduction, certainly for the honor of this gift from this university. I'm most grateful. As well from an earlier gift from the founder of Soka, Daisaku Ikeda. I was privileged to meet him around almost 20 years ago now, and when I did meet him, we took photographs, many photographs, but I didn't know there was one of me and him, and thank you so much to the Vice Chair of SGI for presenting me that wonderful photograph. I want to acknowledge the fellow trustees, the faculty, the administration who keep this beautiful campus humming. I have absolutely enjoyed walking around. How lucky you are to have such a beautiful space. I want to particularly acknowledge, Mr. President, those members of the administration who work behind the scenes often. They are rarely seen, but they repair, they nourish. The food is so good here. And they keep the grounds looking beautiful. I know how hard they work, and I know that they make you have a good feeling of yourself. And that's so important, because as you leave this place, we want to thank them. I want to especially thank Archer Sawa and Jana, who were so important in ensuring that I get here and comfortably be here. But we cannot forget, graduates, the constants in your life, those who have stood by you, your parents, your siblings, your friends who are all around you today. Look at them, they look so good themselves. Thank you all for what you do for these amazing graduates. As you leave SUA, I know you leave with a deep sense of gratitude for what has been given to you, but also for the responsibility that you now carry forward. These graduates are a product of the support and the love of so many, and even some pocket money and loans from some parents sitting in the stands here. But this day is yours to celebrate. And finally, and most importantly, congratulations to the class of 2023 at SUA. I know there are some graduate students and some undergraduate students. What a day. I'm honored and proud to be part of your concluding chapter of your life here at SUA and the commencement of your next chapter. You did it. You did it. And you look amazing, and I hope you feel a sense of accomplishment and a sense of gratitude as you step into the next phase of your life, whatever that may bring. You know, when I was told close to 30 years ago, as I sat in the stands, much like you are now, that this was the commencement, I asked myself, commencement? That seems like the beginning. And I felt like after close to 10 years of being in this situation, it should be the end, not the beginning. But actually, it was the beginning. From Nairobi, in my hometown in Kenya, to the college I went to in upstate New York, it really, really was the beginning. And I want you to savor every minute of it, because it goes really fast. So much happened that changed who I was when I sat there and left. But also in those 3 decades, I was a vessel for that change. You will be a vessel for change that's coming. I did not always know what would be coming or what was happening, but I leaned in, and I want you to lean into whatever comes your way. I graduated with a degree in biology and a master's degree later in public health. But today I find myself in neither of those fields. I find myself at the confluence of what I consider the passion, what I love to do, and yes, what I studied. But it's a confluence because it's health, it's environment, it's storytelling, it's community building, it's all these things. And none of that was apparent to me when I graduated, and none of it predictable at all. So if you had given me a piece of paper and asked me to write what President Fiesel read today, forget it. I would never have written any of those words. But what I'm doing now gives me such great joy and satisfaction. And I know that the foundation that was laid and the foundation that's been laid for you is what sets you up for what's to come. The same adventure awaits you. It awaits all of us. I spoke to some students earlier today, and I said, I love to think of it like popcorn. You're all in this pot, the heat comes, and then you pop at different times. You don't know what's going to happen, and that's the beauty of all of it. Step into all of it with confidence. Step into it with curiosity. Lean forward, not backward, and take every single opportunity you get. You have all come here from around the world, around this country as well. And you engage in a unique learning journey. I assure you it's unique because it's beautiful, it's relevant, it's responsive to what is needed. And your experience here at SUA has set you up. You came to learn, you came to study, you came to have some fun, I hope. And indeed, this place lends itself. I saw some beautiful spaces, beautiful choir, some clubs, diversity, learning, dance, all of it. so much that SUA has offered you. This campus is indeed a special place. It is. Your founder, Mr. Ikeda, of this university, I met in Japan, and his conviction that peace and environment are so inextricably linked, and that to be a good citizen is a critical mission that we should all carry, that we all need to understand peace building. All of us need to consciously understand human rights, that we need to understand community engagement, we need to understand social activism. That is so prophetic. It is the foresight of a founder who understood the transformative power of education, and that it is exactly what is needed today when we bring about the sort of global understanding and create a cohort of leaders who engage with people actively, confidently, passionately. This is exactly what the world needs now, SUA graduates. You are absolutely on the right path, brilliantly anchored in exactly what is needed. I want you to appreciate that, because not every university is SUA. It's a special, special place. We all know now, and today I have to say, that climate change is the most significant challenge out in the world today. It shows up in different ways, but it is the most significant hindrance to our achieving sustainable development, and it really threatens to drag millions of people back into poverty. And we are not okay if so many people are in poverty. And at the same time, we have never had better knowledge, better solutions, and better prepared talent to address these issues available to prevent the crisis and the opportunities for a better life for people around the world. But it requires patience, commitment, and persistence, much like I know you have now been granted. Graduates, you're entering a reality that is completely different from when you entered this university, even more different from a decade ago. We know more today about the impacts of climate change than we ever have. The science is so clear, but we also have a huge role to play in helping the human family take responsibility for what needs to be done. The role that we are playing as a human family, the roles that we have to play, all of us together, if we are to survive the worst impacts of climate change, it will take all of us and the sort of education you've had and you've been granted. You will all have heard about the broken finance system that's needed actually to resolve this. These issues will not resolve themselves. Our dear Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Mottley, reminds us all the time, and the world is running out of time, to fix the international finance system because it is broken, it is outdated, and it is outright unfair. And yet at the same time, it's absolutely necessary for us to achieve the sort of success that we need in this world, in the climate crisis. This year in Dubai, we're going to meet yet again for COP28. And at that meeting, there will be a stocktake. We will need new and fresh minds to take on these challenges, to think anew, to break the systems that we have, the lack of accountability, to think these things afresh. And you will leave this beautiful campus prepared to be those people. As you do that, I wanted to leave 3 nuggets with you that I hope will guide you, because they have guided me. And if I'm here receiving this award, it's worth something. And I want you to take these 3 with you. The first one is to take every single opportunity you get. And opportunities come in different shapes and forms. An invitation to volunteer, an invitation to teach in a new and exciting place, an invitation to visit a friend in a new place, to host a friend who's keen to know where you're from. There's never, or at least I should say there's seldom, a clear answer. But what I have learned is that every single step you take will lead you to the next, will be a portal into the next. Take those steps. After my graduate university education at the Emory University, I started working, I was telling some of the trustees today, at the Carter Presidential Center. I worked there, loved the work I was doing on neglected diseases, monitoring and evaluating what was going on around the world. And then I started to feel a few nudges, a nudge to go back home. And every friend I told would tell me, why? Why would you do that? And then I felt the nudge get stronger and stronger. I needed to go back. I loved it in Atlanta. I wasn't keen to go back. But the nudge was so strong, I decided I would just step into it and go back. I decided to pack and go back home. And I did that, and I'm so glad I did. Because it introduced me to the next chapter of my life that I didn't even know lay ahead of me. It introduced me to the environment and development in ways I had never seen. It thrust me into the work that my mother was doing and deepened my relationship with her and with her work. That was exactly what I needed to do then, and I didn't know. Because 12 years later, my mother was diagnosed with cancer and passed away, but I was left with the gift of having spent every single day with her for 12 years. And finally, it created the leadership opportunities I continued to step into and would only have dreamt of. But it started with a nudge to step into a space that seemed uncomfortable, to dance on the edge that I needed to do. So I urge you to do that. Close to 30 years ago, I wish somebody had told me, don't worry, step into that space, knowing that the true unfolding of my purpose lay ahead of me. I believe the same for you. We really rarely hear that voice, but if we listen, it's there. It's sometimes a nudge, it's sometimes a friend, it's sometimes an odd sort of voice. Seize every step that comes with purpose, conviction, and curiosity. I can finally say that it's never a straight line, and I'm still walking, I'm still taking the journey ahead. But when I look back, the greatest gift has been the ability to listen to the nudges in my life, to make the turns I needed to take, sometimes scary, sometimes not, to step in with a sense of adventure, because you have the time to do that, you have the energy and the enthusiasm to do it, and there's always a portal waiting on the other side. Sustain your global perspectives is my next nugget. So rarely are you in a situation where for 4 years you spend your time being nurtured and cultivated to be good global citizens. Meeting some of the graduates today was a highlight for me. So much passion for the things that actually matter. I heard things like, be authentic. I heard words like, step into your purpose. I was so inspired today to learn of the diversity of your student body. That gift, friends, the diversity of this world is a sheer gift. It's so beautiful to behold. That you have 1 in 2 international students is a gift of the highest order. Make it a point before you leave SUA to connect with somebody, make a few contacts. I bet you already have, and visit, even if you visit just one. Your founder, Mr. Ikeda, is someone whose vision is rooted in the principles of peace and human rights and global citizenship. And a lot of that is fostered by building a conscious sense of understanding. You have it right here. But when you leave this campus, make sure that you have a string to somebody who's not in your neighborhood, someone who's a little bit farther away. The truth is that today, your society needs graduates like you, graduates who understand the environment and the critical questions out there, who are curious and understand the interdisciplinary nature of the issues that we face today. And it takes sometimes stepping into spaces that we've never been to with, again, a sense of adventure. Because indeed, actually, climate justice and issues of justice for others is at the heart of the work that we must do today. Because we know around the world, Black and brown people face the worst impacts of climate change. Seek to understand what that looks like. Because as I said, this is the greatest issue of our time. This moment calls for you to be an active part of whatever community you join. Let that community know, whatever it is, you're there and you care. And that you understand those connections. Be bold and aware of the relationships around you, and definitely call out injustice when you see it. And different people will come into your life at different times. Some of them just to bring you an idea, poof, and they're gone. If you do nothing with that idea moves to another person. Others will come and stay and they'll work with you, and others will always be there for you. Graduates, you need all of them. You need all these relationships, and I want you to be really good at building relationships like those. And finally, I want to share with you what I share with students everywhere I go, whether they're graduate students or young students in Kenya where I live. Whatever you do, consider the impact that it has on other people and the role that you play in championing others, as others will champion you. I often talk to young people and I tell them, you are the beneficiary, as I will now to you graduates. You are the beneficiary of the gift of an amazing SUA education. So you must then consider who else, other than yourself, will be the beneficiary of this gift. And as you think about the person, the place, the thing, you must always consider that and make sure there is someone, something that you can mention. Remember others in every space you're in and just be conscious of what's going on. Challenge, ask questions, be the champion. And whether you end up in a bank, in a lab, in the kitchen, in a theater, in politics, it really doesn't matter. All of us can be potent agents of change. I often tell the story of a University of Nairobi student who listened to his father talking about the grabbing of a public land in Nairobi. Today, Nairobi hosts one of the largest green spaces, 1,000 hectares large, thanks to this law student who heard what injustice was about to happen and brought that information to the Greenbelt movement. You don't always have to be the one who did the action. You may feel completely powerless, like this young student did. But he didn't stay quiet. He was the catalyst. He could easily have said, I'm a student and there's not much I can do. But there's always, always something you can do and somewhere you can go. And finally, as you head out, so many things will be on your mind, so many financial obligations. You have a lot of things, including sleep, to do. Some of you may even have some loans to pay back. But whatever you choose to do, I want you to remember this precious concept, that the dignity of human life will always be the currency that matters. So be kind, be curious, be generous, and be caring. So now, graduates, it's your turn to take up the cause for global citizenship that has been passed on to you by your mentors, your professors, your friends. You are absolutely ready. Go forth and shine. And as you step into the real world, know that the road ahead may not always be easy. But that's not what you're here about. You will face challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, but that won't stop you. You are from SUA. And that's what the preparation here has done for you. Don't forget to express gratitude to those who have supported you throughout this journey, your family, your friends, your mentors. And maybe even sometimes you'll remember some of the professors who taught you and you'll send them a note. Just say, 30 years since I left my college, I still remember my choir director. And I send him a note every so often. Thank you for allowing me to stay in choir, even though my voice was a little bit off. Ladies and gentlemen, the mission of Soka University of America is to foster a steady stream of global citizens committed to living a contributive life. Remain true to that and never compromise your values and your beliefs. Stay grounded, Stay humble. Remember that success is not just achieving your goals, it's not just about achieving your goals, but it's also in seeing the humanity in others, making a positive impact. In Africa, mainly in South Africa, there's an expression, Ubuntu. It basically speaks to our shared humanity. I am because you are. Congratulations, graduates. Congratulations to your friends and family. This is your day. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Matai, for your wonderful, profound speech on this special day. Let's give her another round of applause. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to ask the Dean of the Graduate School, Dr. Tomoko Takahashi, to present the candidates for the graduate degree.
Thank you, Mr. President. To all of our esteemed guests, it is my great honor to present to you the graduate school class of 2023. As the founding dean of the graduate school, it is an especially great pleasure for me to introduce the master's degree candidates. Will the master's degree candidates please stand? Mr. President, these candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for the Master of Arts in Educational Leadership and Societal Change. On behalf of the faculty, I recommend that they be admitted to this degree.
With the recommendation of the faculty, the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by the authority vested in me as President of Soka University of America, I confer upon you the degree of Master of Arts with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto.
As a symbol of your graduation, please move your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations. Now, as I call your name, please come to the stage to receive your diploma. Andrew Robert Duran. Main Kwok. Quetzal Ramirez. Darshan Shiravanshi Magar. My heartfelt congratulations to the graduate school class of 2023. At this time, I'd like to ask Rob Duran to come to the stage to give remarks on behalf of his fellow graduate students.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. There are so many people that made today possible. Huge shout out to all the folks who work behind the scenes to usher us back to a full capacity commencement ceremony. Thank you to our families who made sacrifices, to our friends and faculty for encouraging us to never give up. Thank you all very much. I also want to honor those classmates who couldn't be here today. I will always cherish the moments that we spent together. Now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Rob. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California. I'm an only child of teenage parents who were forced to get married, only to get divorced 3 years later. My father battled depression, drug and alcohol addiction, and incarceration, but eventually found sobriety and was rewarded with owning his own business and buying a home. Pops, rest in peace. To my mom, who raised me as a single mother, sacrificing her own education to financially provide for us, for encouraging me to strive for a better life. I am who I am today thanks to my extended family of grandparents, aunts, and uncles. I was truly raised by a caring village, so thank you. Given my circumstances, statistically speaking, I should not be here today, but I was blessed to defy that narrative with the support of my friends and loved ones, especially my wife, Yvonne. I know you're out there, thank you. Through effort, sobriety, and resilience, I have overcome obstacles to make my dream of receiving this grad degree come true. I am just one of 4 lovely grad students from this Master's of Arts in Educational Leadership and Societal Change. And one question that every student is asked, what brought you to Soka? For me, it was the mission and values of the university on one hand, and on the other, wanting to test my 20 years of work experience against the educational and leadership theories. This program shaped me in 2 ways. Professionally, developing as a researcher and a critical thinker, and personally, I grew to understand the role and responsibility as a leader. Very quickly, I noticed that my work experience could be helpful outside the classroom too. I applied to student jobs that matched my interests and qualifications. At one time, I had 3 campus jobs. Working on campus taught me more about SUA community than simply being a student, which is where I discovered the real beauty of this university. Getting to know various campus leaders, learning how long they had been working here, and hearing about all the things that they had done to support our campus. I soon realized that this was the unspoken definition of SUA's experience. Talking and observing those leaders, whether they were faculty or staff or students, one after another, it became clear that they were striving to achieve Soka's aspirational and challenging goals. And each of these leaders did the work, not because they wanted praise or recognition. No, they did it because 1, they could, and 2, because it was the right thing to do. This is true of many leaders on campus. In my 2 years here, I tried to embrace this definition of Soka experience by working tirelessly with Bridge students in the Academic Help Center or working with Capstone students in the Writing Center. Not because they expressed their appreciation for my efforts, but because I could help them and it was the right thing to do. Lastly, the best example of this devoted Soka experience could be highlighted by the 2 of my Soka heroes on campus. SUA lost one of its most beloved pioneers last year, Mr. Mitsu Eric Kimura, who held many titles, including Dean of Students at our Calabasas campus, and most recently as Director of the SUA Archives. This kind and beloved soul loved this university with all of his heart, and everything he did for it was not for praise or recognition, but because he could, and because it was the right thing to do. My second hero, Dr. Tomoko Takahashi. She didn't pay me to say that, BT Dubs. It was through my time working at the SUA Library Archives that I learned about the profound impact that Dr. Takahashi, or Dr. T as she likes to be called, had on not only the graduate program, but Soka University of America as a whole. In 1993, when the state of California threatened to take away the university title from Soka, at that time, because we did not, as a state, have approval for offering degree programs, Dr. T tirelessly worked to create, from scratch, the very first degree granting program. The Master of Arts in foreign language education program with the concentration of teaching English to speakers of other languages. There's some alumni here from that program today. I have so much gratitude to her and others because without all their hard work, more than 30 years ago, we might not be sitting here today, graduating from Soka University of America. It might have been Soka Academy of America or something. On behalf of all of us here, grad and undergrad alike, thank you, Dr. T. Truly, it is through these snapshots of our spectacular history that I thank our predecessors who fought to give us this unique Soka experience, and those who supported the university, especially donors. Again, not because they wanted praise or accolades or recognition, but because they could, and because it was the right thing to do. I thank those pioneers who ensured we could receive the kind of education that trains us to be educational leaders and researchers. It is these dedicated acts of love for the sake of our Soka experience that I am thankful for, which I undeniably have added to the unique and beautiful experience that has been Soka University of America. Thank you today.
Thank you for those inspiring words, Rob. Now I'd like to ask Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Michael Weiner, to present the candidates for the undergraduate degree.
Mr. President, before I present the candidates, it is my great pleasure and honor to recognize the faculty of Soka University of America. Our faculty are mentors and friends. In their teaching, they inspire. In their scholarship, they are an example of lifelong learning and intellectual inquiry. To our esteemed guests, and especially the class of 2023, I invite you to recognize and to thank them for all their special efforts. Would the faculty please stand? To our esteemed guests, it is now my great pleasure and honor to present to you the undergraduate class of 2023. Will the bachelor's degree candidates please stand? Mr. President, these candidates have fulfilled all the requirements for the Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Arts. On behalf of the faculty, I recommend that they be admitted to this degree.
With the recommendation of the faculty, the approval of the Board of Trustees, and by the authority vested in me as President of Soka University of America, I confer upon you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto.
As a symbol of your graduation, please move your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations. I would now like to ask the Interim Dean of Faculty, Dr. Robert Hammersley, to call upon the undergraduate class of 2023.
Today we are presenting diplomas to students of the undergraduate class of 2023. Students who will be graduating with honors will be called with one of the following categories of honors: cum laude, 3.5 GPA, magna cum laude, 3.7 GPA, and summa cum laude, 3.9 GPA. Now, as I call your name, please come to the stage to receive your diploma. Cho An. Daiki Arai. Manal Atte, magna cum laude. Art Beck. Arohi Badarai, magna cum laude. Jenna Bingham. Michelle Mana Boralesa, summa cum laude. Sasha Brafman, cum laude. Zoe Rose Braverman, magna cum laude. Chase Buchert, summa cum laude. Jesus Cabrera Solorio, cum laude. Gudari Jackskin Dejan Castillo Moriera, magna cum laude. Shorty Coggins, cum laude. Cole Damon. William DeMello, summa cum laude. Tyler Detloff, magna cum laude. Pauline Jung, summa cum laude. Anthony Eduardo, magna cum laude. Celine Fouaz, magna cum laude. Fuji Haruka, cum laude. Mao Fukada, cum laude. Ran Fukazawa, magna cum laude. Samantha Garza. Xiao Guo, summa cum laude. Edlin Geschlicki, cum laude. Ana Emilia Ximena Gonzalez Waman, magna cum laude. Angelina Goodhue, cum laude. Ruth Ernestine Diaz Guevara. Gian Ju, magna cum laude. Kiyomi Hamaguchi, magna cum laude. Amelia Hugh, summa cum laude. Hamza Ibrahim, summa cum laude. Ryohei Ishimura, summa cum laude. Tanvi Chen, summa cum laude. David James, magna cum laude. Sanika Joshi, magna cum laude. Natsuha Kataoka, summa cum laude. Jacqueline Katerina Kurth, summa cum laude. Asahi Kitamura, summa cum laude. Kimberly Katani, magna cum laude. Kristen Nicole Kolp, magna cum laude. Taichi Komiyama. Erica Koyama, summa cum laude. Amy Kuroda, magna cum laude. Michaela LaFrenz, cum laude. Ving Le, magna cum laude. Jayan Lee, cum laude. Joshua Lee, cum laude. Randall Lindenmayer, magna cum laude. Miho Matsunaga, magna cum laude. Kayoko Mayede, magna cum laude. Joaquin Cielo McIntyre. Vianne Militar, summa cum laude. Hagan Moore, summa cum laude. Anthea Mudanya, summa cum laude. Nagai Chiharu, magna cum laude. Koke Nagamura, magna cum laude. Ain Hai Wen, magna cum laude. Wen Rak Nok Ain, summa cum laude. Wen Ha Tho Jansky, magna cum laude. Sache Nishida, summa cum laude. Yasuka Nita, magna cum laude. Reika Nunoya, summa cum laude. Leo Odaka, magna cum laude. Roxana Graciela Ortiz, magna cum laude. Haruka Oshika, summa cum laude. Ray Atman, cum laude. Joey Petty, magna cum laude. Julia Paya Pinto, magna cum laude. Isa Chiano, summa cum laude. Anjun Rana Magar, magna cum laude. Izumi Robertson, summa cum laude. Yoselin Santana Baena, magna cum laude. Mia Shen, summa cum laude. Kentaro Shintaku, summa cum laude. Savannah Smith, cum laude. Araceli Soto Garcia, magna cum laude. Dylan Stahl. Yulia Stolarova, magna cum laude. Risa Sugihara, magna cum laude. Takashi Sugiura, magna cum laude. Sophia Segeti, magna cum laude. Shinsaku Takikawa, magna cum laude. Akemi Terukina, summa cum laude. Mary Top, summa cum laude. Nicholas Tumboli, magna cum laude. Rebecca Umutoni. Michael Venezia, magna cum laude. Kyle Villegas. Victoria Rose Walker. Yi Xin Wang, summa cum laude. Wendy Wimmer. Tiffany Wong. Kazumi Yamamoto, summa cum laude. Jian Quen Yang, summa cum laude. Takaki Yasue, magna cum laude. Pablo Sabala Reina, summa cum laude. My heartiest congratulations to the undergraduate class of 2023.
Congratulations. Please be seated. So today's graduating seniors have selected from among their peers 3 students to speak on their behalf. Please first welcome to the stage Hamza Ibrahim.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah alladhi hadana lihadha wa ma kunna linahtadiya lawla an hadana Allah. As a Muslim, I would like to begin by giving the greatest of acknowledgements and praises to God, who has guided me to this monumental milestone, and without whose guidance, I would not be standing here today. As an African man, as a black man, and as a Muslim man, I have been blessed with the opportunity of connecting with many communities of people I am immensely grateful for. And with this connection, with this sense of community, comes a great sense of empathy, responsibility, and of service when I perceive their struggles and the injustices caused to them. And day in, day out, we see the struggles. We see the many distractions happening around the world. Day in, day out, our eyes are fed the searing images of the bodies of the most vulnerable laid to waste. I mean, how many times do we see refugees come in their numbers after emotionally drained from seeing their travel companions drown before their eyes in the Mediterranean? And for the search of what? A home. How many times do we see families heavily bombarded with weapons of mass destruction in Palestine, in Yemen, and in Syria? How many more times can we bear to see my fellow Africans in Nigeria, in Chad, and in Niger perish at the hands of climate-induced floods? And how many times will black people be treated differently for being black? These are lives we're talking about here. Lives just like yours and mine. So if it's okay with everyone, I'd like us to pause for a few seconds to let these deaths and sufferings sink in before continuing. Class of 2023, without doubt, as students who elected to come to a school centered around global citizenship and scholarship, it is commendable to look beyond our privileges and assume the pain and suffering of others elsewhere. And this idea of global empathy is one of the crucial elements of global citizenship that the founder of this university, Daisaku Ikeda, referred to as, quote, the compassion to maintain an imaginative empathy that reaches beyond one's immediate surroundings and extends to those suffering in distant places, unquote. Leaving SUA to commence our lives in the real world, I feel we should embody this way of empathetic thinking. One of the issues that may hinder a person from making hands-on impact in these different parts of the world where much help is needed is limited geographical mobility. To that, I look to my classmates coming from South America, North America, Africa, and Asia. It is through such diversity at Soka that I had the chance to speak to a Nigerian about the floods that occurred in Lagos last fall and inquired about ways to help. I hope that such personal stories go a long way to evoke empathy that drives action. Then there's also the problem of being able to care for others when I struggle to give enough love and care to myself. However, I hope that giving empathy to others is in fact the very thing that empowers me to overcome negative thoughts. As I leave SUA and as an aspiring global citizen, I hope I can take the following steps to offer support and empathy to those facing destruction globally. The first of these steps is to increase my absorption of international news. Now, although local news is important in keeping me aware of the things happening in my local community, I believe I need to exert myself to become aware of the things happening in the global community and find out pragmatic ways to help. The second is to listen more and presume less. You know, those in pain sometimes need an empathetic listener whose silence brings comfort and whose words prefer nothing but wisdom. The third is to be intentional about bringing ethnic, national, and racial diversity within my social circles. By listening to friends, colleagues, and co-workers from different backgrounds, I can humanize struggles and move beyond perceiving struggles elsewhere as just another news on the television. The fourth is to donate. Donating not just money, but my time to reputable NGOs that are pushing the bounds of humanitarianism. Lastly, is to not contribute to the destruction going on in the world. Whether it is economical, environmental, or political, the least I can do is to not contribute to such destruction. I can hence be inspired to appreciate each other's humanity through the simple yet powerful acts of empathy, charity, and kindness. At this juncture, I would like to take inspiration from the following words of the Quran. I'll recite the original version in Arabic and then read the English translation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبالوالدين إحسانا وبذي القربى واليتامى والمساكين والجار ذي القربى والجار الجنب والصاحب بالجنب وابن السبيل وما ملكت أيمانكم إن الله لا يحب من كان مختالا فخورا. The English translation reads, show kindness unto parents, and unto near kindred, and orphans, and the needy, and unto the neighbor who is of kin to you, and the neighbor who is not of kin, and the fellow traveler, and the wayfarer, and those whom your right hands possess. Indeed, Allah does not like those who are self-deluded and boastful. I would like to encourage everyone to leave here today striving to be not only a global citizen, but a kind global citizen, an empathetic global citizen, and a forgiving global citizen. I want to say thank you to my parents, Mrs. Alima Tubasha and Mr. Ibrahim Mustafa, for their enduring support throughout my entire undergraduate college career. To my sisters, Asia and Khadija, my grandparents, Mr. Bashir and Mrs. Ramatu Basha, and Alfa Shuaib Matase and Mariam Giwa. To all my relatives, those who could make it here today and those who could not, I say to you all, thank you so, so much. And to everyone here at Soka who has supported me through my college career, thank you. Thank you for everything. Thank you to all the professors who have taught and guided me. And I want to especially say thank you to Professor Dia Mazumder for her guidance and her support. And to the school administration, to the residential staff, to my coaches, to the athletics department, the facility staff, to the IT staff, to the shuttle drivers, to the staff in Founders Hall, to the PAC staff who put all this together. Thank you all so much for your hard work. I want to also say a special thank you to the Makiguchi Foundation for believing in me and supporting me throughout my entire life at SUA. And finally, to the class of 2023, congratulations on this milestone. If it's okay with everyone, I'd like us to give a huge round of applause to the class of 2023. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hamza. Thank you, thank you. Now our second speaker, please welcome Erika Koyama.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm deeply honored to stand here today and to speak on behalf of Soka University of America's undergraduate class of 2023. I would like to extend my most heartfelt appreciation to our professors, administrators, and staff for nurturing our wisdom and humanity. To our friends and family, a warm thank you for guiding and encouraging us throughout our journey, and the most profound gratitude to our generous benefactors for believing in the transformative power of Soka education. To Wanjira Mathai, thank you for joining us today. It is such an honor to conclude our final moments at Soka in your presence. And finally, congratulations to my fellow classmates. I am delighted to reach this day together with all of you, and I'm excited for our future. There is an idea, a philosophy that drives this university. During my 4 years here, the founder's welcome message presented to my class continuously reminded me of the philosophy behind Soka University. In his message, Dr. Daisaku Ikeda quoted Nobel Peace and Chemistry laureate Dr. Linus Pauling, who stated, "I believe that there is a greater power in the world than the evil power of military force, of nuclear bombs. There is the power of good, of morality, of humanitarianism. I believe in the power of the human spirit." As a freshman who came to Soka to take part in the new life sciences concentration, this speech felt like a personal letter to me. It served as a call to not only study the sciences, but to also foster the ability to care for others. I engraved this message in my heart, and throughout the 4 years, drove myself to respond to this message through my thoughts and actions. With this determination in my heart, I embarked on my 4-year journey at Soka with my peers. Together, the class of 23 advanced through the COVID-19 pandemic and actively created spaces to transform our differences into opportunities to learn from one another. With every challenge we faced, we arose stronger and more united. As the toughest yet most joyous 4 years in my life reach a closure, I can now fully perceive the beauty of Soka education. Soka education has taught me that the heart is the most valuable possession in our lives. During our college years, each of us faced struggles unique to our lives. But thankfully, our close-knit community did not allow us to face our struggles alone. We embraced others with compassion, we fought for each other's happiness, and we fostered a culture of care. And we achieved resounding victories in our lives through uniting and advancing together with those around us. The struggles of our youth became a source of light that illuminated every corner of our campus. Although we achieved so much together, it feels bizarre that just a couple of years ago, the class of 23 had no idea who the people sitting around us were. But during these past few years, we have shared the same time and space at Soka. And now we are here, earnestly gazing outward toward our individual dreams. Someday far into the future, our time at Soka may feel like a dream and melt away into our memories. But the fact that we spent the same time and space on this campus together will never change. Our paths aligned at Soka. We inspired each other to reach new heights, and we strove together toward our goals. And no matter the physical distance that will separate us after our graduation, every person we encountered here will continue to live on in our hearts. The time spent here will remain an undeniable truth in our lives, and the miraculous days of our youth will be forever ingrained in our being. Today, with these thoughts swirling in our minds, the class of 23 emerges from our Soka grounds and radiates into our respective fields. We carry with us the thoughts and aspirations of those who graduated before us, of our founder, and of everyone who supported us throughout our journey. And we have imparted our own to the students who continue to study here, who will now take the lead to guide the next generation of Soka students, soon stepping foot onto our precious campus. Please watch us, the class of 2023, as we embark into the world. My heart brims with appreciation for everyone I have had the fortune of uniting with during my time here. And I am forever grateful to Soka University of America and to Dr. Daisaku Ikeda for fostering this beautiful and powerful worldwide community of global citizens. Once again, thank you so much to everyone for supporting the class of 2023, and congratulations to all of us for concluding this chapter of our lives. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Erica. Now the third speaker representing the class of 2023, please welcome Kentaro Shintaku.
Hi everyone! My name is Ken and I'm from Hokkaido, Japan. I stand here as a Soka University of America graduate with the most profound appreciation. I'm so grateful to the donors who have exhibited immense generosity, enabling us to thrive and pursue our dreams. My heartfelt appreciation goes to the dedicated faculty and staff who tirelessly worked for the students and our school, providing unwavering support on campus, from the dormitories to the cafeteria and writing center. To all the people who sent their love and encouragement from near and far, including the families and friends of the students, I extend my deepest gratitude. I'm forever grateful to my parents. Although they have never studied abroad, they are, in my opinion, both models of global citizenship. Our founder, Daisaku Ikeda, shared that global citizenship is not determined by how many languages we speak or how many countries we would travel to. What matters most is genuine concern for others. My parents created friendships with everyone with their wonderful smiles, no matter where people came from. Since I was little, my mother told me that English would be my passport to the world. However, I was only interested in baseball and climbing trees. Until I encountered an educator and SUA graduate who completely changed my life. He founded an English language school in my hometown. Through our discussions, I realized that I had unlimited potential as a human being and a responsibility to make the world a better place. He also inspired me to go to SUA, and I started working really hard in my study of English. However, my inspiration was quickly confronted by reality. My family is not wealthy. At times, we couldn't even pay for gas, water, or electricity. I thought there was no way I could study abroad, but I did not give up hope. I began reading Daisaku Ikeda's works and learning how he struggled in his youth to protect and empower people, which profoundly inspired me. I thought to myself, I have a mission that I absolutely have to accomplish, so I will never give up. Through my efforts in the face of adversity, I was not only accepted to SUA, but also received a full Japanese government scholarship for my 4 years here. thanks to many people's encouragement, I arrived at SUA from a small town. I went from shy and reserved to someone now brimming with confidence and the desire to connect to all people. I feel the seed of potential growing within me, and my passion for education growing by leaps and bounds. My friends and I were able to visit Sweden and Denmark for research with SUA's generous grant during my first year. However, right after returning from Sweden, the pandemic broke out. Our university had to shut down, with all of us leaving immediately. In an instant, my days of learning at this beautiful campus turned into a world of a small computer screen in my tiny room in my farming village in Japan. Despite the pandemic, I never lost hope. I called out from my computer to my friends around the world. I was determined to create value in a time of unbelievable adversity. At first, there were only 1 or 2 friends that I kept in touch with, but eventually I connected with over 100 students worldwide. I wanted to respond to Daisaku Ikeda's call to youth and his wish to support and hear our voices. Together, my friends and I created an online youth summit, which was a space for dialogue and exchange among all of us students worldwide. At the summit, our summit theme was Global Citizens. We arise in a time of crisis. We asked, what kind of world do we want to create after the pandemic? What actions can we take to achieve this? At the summit, we all realized that we youth can absolutely solve challenging issues by expanding our potential and empowering each other. We presented our report at the second World Summit of Educators at SUA in 2021. The encouragement of one educator who planted the seed for me to attend SUA has begun to sprout. I will start the next phase of my studies and education at Harvard University's Graduate School of Education this coming fall. I am determined to become an educator who can inspire and foster capable people with unlimited possibilities. I am determined to empower hundreds and thousands of youth who in turn will further nurture countless global citizens who can create hope and a peaceful planet, a world without wars and without nuclear weapons, and a century of the creative coexistence of nature and humanity. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your moving speeches, and congratulations to all the graduates. Let's give the 3 speakers another round of applause. It is now my great pleasure to present the Founders Award. This year's Founders Award recipient is Kentaro Shintaku. Founders Award, Kentaro Shintaku. In accordance with the founding principles of Soka University of America, your diligent efforts in pursuit of academic excellence, commitment to integrity, and service to the university community have demonstrated the ideals of this institution. In recognition of your outstanding contributions, and with the expectation that your continued growth and development will foster immeasurable value, you are hereby presented with the Founders Award on this 26th day of May 2023. Daisaku Ikeda, founder. I'd like to ask Kentaro to share a few words.
I guess I don't have a script. Yes. But I'd like to receive this award on behalf of my amazing classmates, since I wouldn't be here today, without everyone here. And I'd like to also thank Mr. Daisaku Ikeda, without whom I wouldn't be here today. When I had to return to Japan during the pandemic, I was overwhelmed, and it was such a stressful time. And especially my second older sister's health situation put me on edge. Due to unknown cause, for several years, my sister had been tormented by both physical and psychological disorders. For example, due to her auditory sensitivity, the mere presence of other family members in the house made it hard for her, sometimes leading to confusion and arguments in the family. And around this time, Mr. Daisaku Ikeda, when I reported about this to him, Mr. Ikeda sent us a gift and a message of encouragement. And since then, my family gradually started to unite together. And so my sister, my mom was able to overcome her challenges, and then my second older sister was able to find the most likely cause of her symptoms. And last year, she had a very successful surgery. And today, I'm so happy to share that my entire family was able to come here and attend this commencement. Thank you, everyone, for encouraging me during the most difficult times, and thank you, the current students, for the amazing song performances, and yes, to my classmates, I can't wait to get back here 10 years from now. So yes, so thank you so much.
Congratulations, Ken. I'm personally going to miss your hello from a mile away. As you must have observed by now, we are fortunate at SUA to have such a rich and talented pool of young singers and musicians. To celebrate the graduation of the class of 2023 and show their love, the students will now perform for us "The Light of Hope," a song that was presented to the students by our founder, Mr. Ikeda. After the performance, we will begin the recessional. For your safety, please remain seated until the music stops and the platform party and the class of 2023 have exited the stage. Directly following the recessional, please join us for a reception outside this Performing Arts Center. Now, please welcome the SUA Student Chorus and Orchestra.
Thank you, and congratulations to the class of 2023. Thank you once again for your attendance today. For your safety, please remain seated until the music stops and the platform party and the class of 2023 have exited the stage. We will now begin the recessional.